home building and remodeling show. Let's go. Welcome everybody to the Home Building and Remodeling Show. My name is Chris Kirby and I'll be your host. I am the owner of 3 construction companies on the Alabama Gulf Coast. The show is about residential construction. We're going to cover topics of home building and remodeling. Are you thinking of doing a remodel or building a home? Are you a contractor looking to improve your knowledge base or grow your business? Have you ever done a remodel project or built a home? There were so many things you wish you knew or that you could have done differently during the process. Then this show is for you. We break down the process of building and remodeling and how to have the best results during your project. Whether you're a DIYer looking for tips, someone looking to hire a contractor to do a project, or a contractor looking to expand your knowledge base or your business. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you. Stay tuned. We kick off the show with my thoughts on home building and remodeling. I'll share best practices and talk about some of our experiences in business and out in the field. These shared thoughts and lessons learned are meant to help you on your very own journey. Let's go. And we have to have the structure of an apprenticeship program in place, and we need to go ahead and set this thing up. And luckily, I had a frame of reference from the military, from the Navy, from their apprenticeship programs that I was able to use and adapt here. We just kind of went on ahead and set it up. We gave all the young, what we call apprentices, we set a mark and gave them binders. And we went on ahead and started calling them apprentices. And we set up that apprentice 1, apprentice 2, path for them. We laid out an entire career path for them. And I honestly think that they're very excited to adopt that and adapt that and move forward. Yes, it's very hard to get started, but you could do anything that you want in construction. And so our team gets paid well. I knew for us to get the right people in the door, young, old, male, female, that was irrelevant. I wanted people with the right mindset. And so to do that, I knew that if you get a grown man or woman walking in the door that has children at home, paying them $10, $11 wasn't going to cut it. Well, Chris, you can't pay them more than that because yada, yada, right? No, that's not right. So what we did is we start them out at $17 an hour. And then from there, they get 50 cents every 1,000 hours. So basically 1,000 hours equates to about 6 months. And so 50 cents every 6 months. And then that's $1 a year. And so, from there, that was the pay portion, and they go apprentice 1, apprentice 2, and all the way up. If you look at organizations such as NARI, the National Association of the Remodeling Industry, you can become a master remodeler through them, and you have to have 10 years to do that. Well, our apprenticeship aligns with that. In our apprenticeship, you can go from apprentice to a journeyman, and you can, same thing, 20,000 hours or 10 years, you become a master remodeler through our company. The way that we've done it is we've had to say, here's all the tasks that you may encounter during remodeling. And here's what you need to do. So it's repetition, right? Each task, they go in and they do it a series of times. They discuss it, observe, perform with supervisor, perform independently. Then they start to self-correct, and then they become a master. And that's for each task along the way. So if they need to lay tile, then they're going to discuss, observe, perform with supervision, perform independently, self-correct, and then master. This is our new contractor shout-out segment. We are going to pick 40 contractors a month that tag their business page in our post on the Home Building and Remodeling Show Facebook page. And this month we have with us LeBron Construction out of Chester, Pennsylvania, Ash Woodworking out of Waterford, Wisconsin, One for All Service out of Flowery Branch, Georgia, Buford's Handyman Services out of Kaplan, Louisiana, Inside Out Property Solutions in Marlton, New Jersey,
Thank you all for commenting on the monthly post. We will do another post next month. Like, subscribe, and share our Facebook page, and hopefully you get a shout out next time.
And now we move into Shop Talk. It's the portion of the show where I bring in a co-host and we cover trending topics in home building and remodeling. Hope you enjoy. Let's go.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. Today we've got good old Adam back with us. And we're going to dive straight into kind of what we've been doing here at Kirby, and hopefully you all can relate to that. So we've been talking recently about, here we have a lot of W-2 employees.
Right.
So in construction, a lot of people use subcontractors and they're the primary contractor.
Right.
So for us, we have in-house employees. We're at almost 30 now because we've brought on some electricians, a master electrician, master plumber, and a team under them. But what we were looking at is how we price our jobs. And it makes a big difference in what we do because flow of a project and flow of the money in, money out are super important.
Right.
So when you're going out to estimate and you're looking at our cost, there's basically 3 components to it, or 4, because you have our cost for labor. Mm-hmm. So our team, our 1, 2, 3 people teams that go out and actually do the demo, install.
Work. Right.
Yeah. And then you look at all the minor materials.
Yes.
And then you look at subcontractors, right? And then we used to give all allowances. Now we just give allowances on product that we carry in.
Right. Mostly, yes, just like the tile, some of the pretty stuff. And if it's somebody that's not capable of picking up something,
sure,
I will offer that as long as they pick it out, purchase it, we'll go and get it, house it,
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially for like elderly type people and stuff like that.
So, you go out and you do your estimate, but you're looking at the actual cost to do the job. And for us, that's labor, that's material, that's the allowance cost, that's the sub cost. What we've done over time as we've grown, because not only are we a company that is growing, but we grow the pay of our people.
Right.
Right. So it's apprenticeship style. So we look at it and say, we bring somebody in. So anybody that comes into us as an apprentice one starts at $17.
$17.
They get a pay raise every 1,000
hours.
Okay. So in order for us to keep up with that, right, we look at it and say, okay, we're at 3 crews. We want to grow to 4 crews. Well, you need a crew leader and a helper. Right. So it takes 2 people. Those crews pay for themselves. However, when you are growing the pay of the helper from 17 to 18, 18 to 19, then the crew leaders, $25, $26, $27 an hour, you factor that in. And in order to sustain a growing company and retain the talent that we need, we have to increase their pay raises, which increases our costs, taxes being W-2, all of the associated things that come with paying people well.
Correct.
Right. So we get into this habit where we want to win every job because, if you've got a lot of work, you can sustain a lot of people and stuff like that. But what we've started looking at heavily are margins.
Right.
Okay. And we run reports through QuickBooks after the job is done. And I think it's 27 or 25% is good for us. Anything over that is really profit.
It's great. Yep.
Yeah. And so that just covers our overhead because we have receptionists and accountant and those types of stuff that are associated with running the business the way we run our business. But we were hesitant for a long time to increase our prices, right?
Right.
So how do you price our labor? Just so everybody knows, and you don't have to talk about the dollars, but you can talk about how you do it.
So we have a set base price for 2 people for a week's worth of labor. So I go in, assess everything and get a great the best I can, not
Yeah.
great,
Yeah.
of how long the length of the job should take.
Right.
And
So,
then-
for instance, you're saying you walk in, and most of we focus on kitchen and bath. So most of what we do is kitchen and bath related. The reason we focus on that niche is so we can systemize it. So
Right.
you now have the ability as the estimator, project manager, you can walk in and say, this will take a week?
Yeah,
week and a
2
half.
weeks, something
Right.
like that.
So something else we do though is if it takes 7 business days, right? How do you do that?
We're going to charge for 2 full weeks.
2 full weeks. So, and we're saying weeks, but it's actually 10 work days.
10 work
because
days,
we
yep.
do Monday through Friday, 7 to 3:30.
Right.
Okay.
And there's always, you got to take in fact for some sort of hiccups and things like that
Right.
as well.
There's going to be a sub delay. So the plumber or electrician can't get to the job right away, then that's going to delay it. So you never go. You may bid in your head and say this should take exactly 7 days, but you're never going to bid a job for exactly 7 days, correct?
Not at all.
Right, because you shoot yourself in the foot if you do that. You always want to overestimate the time.
Right. I mean, you can't set yourself up for failure, because it's, sometimes you get lucky and finish jobs in half the time, but, 75% of the time, it's going to take every bit of the time.
And I read something, we're talking about increasing our prices and stuff, but if you look at, let's just say you bid it for 2 weeks. We run into this too. If you bid it for 2 weeks, the client sometimes, if you finish in one, feels like most of the time they're happy, but some of them are like, wait a minute.
Right.
I know you charged for 2, but you finished in 1.
Exactly.
Right. But that's a good scenario for us, and it should be a good scenario for them
to have their
'cause they're
space
still out of
back.
it.
Yeah.
Correct. But you do run into that, but what people don't realize is we are efficient, we are quick, and we are able to finish things on time or early because of all the training that goes on in the background.
Right.
Right. So we're not sending somebody in there that has to figure out how to do the job. We're
Correct.
sending people in there that know what they're doing.
Exactly.
If we actually take the job the full length of time, that means probably something has went wrong. You may not know about it as the client, but if we bid for 10 days and they take 10 days, that's not the optimal.
No,
that's not what we want.
That was not our goal.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So I have to, put it out there and make the clients understand that it could have easily, we got it done in 5. It could have easily taken 10 with one simple delay as a sub couldn't get to it in the time they said or something. You see what I mean?
Yep.
So there's 2 sides to that. Plus the client now has their home back a lot quicker. Because being in kitchen and bath, you're taking away their kitchen or bath.
Right. And it's a fairly big deal in most cases.
But where did we started to trend up our pricing because of the way and the growth of our company, but we have to sell the fact that it's worth using a company who's more expensive.
We're a little more expensive, but you're getting better quality talent coming to your home because of the way we set up our training and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that's kind of the hope and the goal is that the quality pays for itself.
Correct.
Right. And so now we do get a different level where people are hiring us knowing that we're not going to, there's going to be some sort of a mistake, not on every job, but we will take care of and make it right.
Right.
And so we can make their vision come to life because we offer more than just coming in, doing the work, and getting out. We have designers, we've got a design team, we've got products. And for us to invest in our people and take time and do training to make them better, then we have got to pay for that.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
And so people are starting to realize that a company like ours who has insurance and workers' comp, it does cost more than an individual trade contractor. However, we bring more to the table.
Right. And those guys, all their employees are 1099. So,
yeah,
they're not having to pay any part of the taxes,
Right.
none of the insurance, no anything. You know what I mean, they're just
and optimally for us to keep employees and to keep people who want to work for Kirby, then we have to do these things.
Right.
You know, it's almost non-negotiable anymore, just the way the work world is. Now we're going to move into the portion of the show where we talk interior design. We're going to bring in an interior designer and we're going to talk trending design and products. Hope you enjoy. Let's go. All right, Whitney, we're going to jump right in. We've been blessed enough to Kirby Interior Design is going to do some interior design work with the U.S. Sports Academy located in Daphne. And we're also doing some remodeling and painting and electrical, just some different stuff over there. But we want to continually talk about process here, how we do things. And it may not be the same way for all interior design companies, but let's just, for the sake of the client and people who are watching this, who have interest in what we do and the field that you're in, which is interior design, let's talk about how this is a commercial project.
Yes.
Okay. And they called initially wanting to do some upgrades and remodel because they've really just got back into the facility, or
Yeah, they've been mainly online. It's kind of been like a ghost town in there, and the building was built in the I think 70s.
It's a sports college, right?
Yeah, it's a sports
gotcha.
college. So I believe like they focus on coaches, but then there's actual teams as well too.
Very cool. And they called because they want to, obviously, you said the 70s. So it's it's an older building. They might have had some work done, but not to where it needs to be to look.
Yeah,
relevant.
it's really, I think all they've really done is like maintain.
Yeah.
It is original.
So it's needed a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
And so, so they call here and kind of walk us through how this whole thing escalated and got to where we are today, where we're in work and you're starting the design work. So talk to us about the initial steps to that. So they called the office. Actually, I think she sent an email or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then you went out.
And we went out to the appointment, and we visited the locker room. So we initially, our main project was starting in the men's locker room.
Yeah,
and it kind of just grew.
Yeah.
So there was the main part of the locker room. I mean, it has crazy stuff. Like there's an old tanning room that we're converting into a bathroom. We're trying to make.
So they have a tanning room in there?
Yeah, there's a tanning room.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so like we're turning that into like a toilet room, and then we're making the other area like ADA compliant.
Gotcha. Yes.
But there's some lockers, so we're gonna be like refacing lockers, adding some lockers. We're doing total rip out of countertops. There's all kinds of tile. We tried to match some of the things that they currently had, and that just wasn't possible. So
right.
We explained, like this is kind of the path that we need to take. We really need to consider the integrity of what's already here that we can use compared to adding new. So we're going to do some, the rooms are divided. So there's like a shower room and then there's the main locker room part.
Yeah.
So what we're doing in the main locker room part is the lockers, all new flooring, which we're going to do the LVT flooring in there, quartz counters, new sinks, new fixtures, new light fixtures, painting the lockers to kind of match their
So when you were
colors.
looking at, so it sounds like you're doing a lot of things and updating and on the remodel side, the remodelers, we take our cue from what you guys design.
Yes.
So how did you convince the sports academy that we were the right fit? So what did that look through? Did they interview? Did they just talk to you? Was there
They did
presentations?
Interview. There was interviews. There was multiple site visits that, we did. We wanted to try to be as budget friendly as possible because they have really been pretty non-existent in the actual like real world of people being there. So this is the first year they've been open.
Right.
So I think they were a little cautious at first.
Yeah.
But getting to know them, lots of meetings, pulling all the samples, bringing it in. I mean, I did a full presentation with an easel and kind of had everything printed out,
showing
and
them the
out.
vision. And a part of that was just not only, you do have to be mindful of the budget, but sometimes when it's been so long to perform an update, you have to be real with them.
Right.
And I think what I can't speak for them, but part of what we presented was realistic.
It was.
Like, you can't just do the minimum and capture the effect that they wanted with the design.
And
right?
I think that's how we really won the bid, essentially, because they came in, they wanted us to paint the tile floor and paint
Oh
the
my
tile
goodness.
walls. I mean,
Yeah.
and we can't really warrant that.
Yeah.
So it took a little bit of convincing, like, listen, if you're really wanting to put the money into this and you're really wanting it to be quality and y'all to stand
Right.
out, like this is your first year open again, like,
Yeah.
we need to make an impression. So plus we need good quality materials to make it last, because essentially they're not going to want to spend any more money in the future
Sure.
to redo these
Yeah.
things.
When you do an upgrade of this caliber, you want it to last quite a while.
Yeah.
Right. And so what we have to do on the design side is we have to figure out not just what's currently trending, but we have to look at, well, this is going to last. This is going to be a trend. This is going to be something that sustains for multiple years.
Right.
Right. And so that comes from experience and knowing the market. So part of, talking to them, I'm sure, was, hey, this isn't something that's going to go out of style next week.
Right. So we
Yeah.
stuck, like, they have colors. So, like, the colors of the sports academy, the colleges, like navy, grays, whites. So we really stuck in that realm. It made it pretty easy with just different tones of it, with pops, but then also bringing in the white, fresh, clean look, because it's very much right now like a little bit of a dungeon.
Gotcha.
And
So you
dark
wanted
in
to
there.
brighten it up. So you needed some light, bright
Yes.
colors. Okay.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
So the colors, like, we're doing, there is one part of the locker room and the shower room section that we are painting the back wall
Yeah.
white, just because that's not going to get a lot of high traffic and water is not directly going to hit onto it.
Yeah.
Whereas in the shower areas, we're ripping that tile out, putting new in, adding like the navy blues, like the cool, like, and those colors aren't going to go out of trend. I mean, they're just classic
and
colors.
and they go with the school colors,
Right.
so it
makes sense.
Makes sense. Okay. And where we are, I have not done a site visit. So where are we now, and what's our progress point with, and your involvement with the design, but the remodelers? So we've just done some painting and lighting updates, or?
Yeah, so originally the project was just the locker room and then a small kitchenette area. Well, it just kind of opened up and they realized, okay, well, we can't kind of just do this and that. Like, it has to
You can't
really
piecemeal
flow.
it.
Right.
You have to, okay.
Yep. So we're men's locker room, then it goes out into like a kitchenette area that's a big hangout room for like the students.
Yeah.
And then now it's the ping pong room. So we're painting in that and redoing all the lighting throughout the whole area that we're doing. And then what we just finished was the painting of the weight room, which has 20-foot ceilings.
So we painted it. Did we also do lighting in there?
We're doing the lighting there right now.
And you literally just left with our electrician.
Yes.
And what was the lighting difference? Because you sent me some pictures. So kind of what was he doing?
Crazy. So they're 2x2 lights. I mean, these housings, everything was like built with the building. So it was kind of like a rebuild on the inside. He had to do some rewiring, and then he did some research, and we found like these, because currently they're baluster lights. So we switched those out to these high pro LED lights. And like, it's different as night and day, because if you know anything about baluster lights, when you turn them on, they have to warm up. So it has to like,
Right. That's that old school, like,
to
tick,
come
tick,
on.
tick, and then it kind of
Yep,
gives you the
and you
pop.
hear-
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay.
And when they go bad, they stink. And like, it's just not energy efficient at all. So I think they're going to be really happy when they can just go flip a light on.
Yeah, I mean, and you sent me
'Cause
that
we're
picture.
in the basement.
Yeah, you sent me a picture where Andy had just done replacement of one, and then you had the next one, and it was night and day.
Yeah.
But it's more than just the actual look, the aesthetic, but like you said, it's more energy efficient, right? And originally, just looking at the housings, we were thinking that he was going to have to replace the entire
whole
unit.
thing.
Yeah. But luckily he knows his stuff, and he figured out a way to kind of save that time, because
and still keep it within budget.
Absolutely.
The same amount of money that we were going to buy these other fixtures is the same amount of money for.
So not only, looking at the design side, not only are we, helping them to stay inside the budget, but we're actually giving them a better product.
Oh, absolutely. This is so much better.
And
Thanks for joining us today. As always, we are grateful for our listeners and your continued support. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on social media via Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Get more info at our website, www.thehomebuildingshow.com. And as always, remember who we are, the Home Building and Remodeling Show.